Powering on. Mic off.
All right, there we go. Oh my.
Mic on.
All right, let's try it again. If it's not one thing, it's another. I'm telling you. Okay, this is Kurt H. I am the Lazy Farmer, and yeah, I'm here in Barstow today. It's a foggy day in Barstow, and I will explain why I'm in Barstow and why this is not a Trona episode. So we start with yesterday, how yesterday's stream ended. I am sorry for everybody what happened yesterday. It was kind of a weird thing. The card itself, I guess, was still streaming, which is okay, but my screens went black. And so I just shut down and then rebooted. And when I rebooted, the drivers wouldn't come back. The system just got stuck in a loop. So somewhere, somehow, the Radeon drivers from my video card, they got corrupted. How? I don't know. Something to investigate in and keep an eye on, because I don't want to regret buying this particular Radeon card. I don't want to. I mean, that was part of the issue why I went and got a new video card, was because of issues with the Radeon drivers. So I'm like, don't make me regret this. I really don't want to regret it. So, because I don't have a problem, I'll eat the $300 and go get an Nvidia if that's the case. But anyway, so reboot got done. Spent all day yesterday afternoon playing Demonologist with my daughter. I mean, we played for hours, and it was a lot of fun. We just didn't feel like streaming. Sometimes, when you stream, you feel like you have to perform, and sometimes it's just fun just to play and not have to worry about entertaining. So, but anyway, to today, I'm in Barstow, and if you remember yesterday's stream, episode 4 of the Trona Project, it was. I was looking around, just looking at what trains were moving, and I came across this big old red patch right here, big old nasty red patch, and I literally was like, okay, this needs to get cleared up. So, and to the point that no sooner do I start pushing the string of cars that were in here over the hump, that a train comes in, and I started to push, and all of a sudden this train came in because there was a pair of engines. That's the only thing that was on this line right here. And as soon as I cleared that line, this train started coming in because it was a train like all the way out here just waiting. So I push one out, one comes in. So got a lot to do. Hump controller disabled due to Barrow and Barstow yard. What's going on down here? Why are we stopping? Okay, and that's the other thing too, is I'm looking at why are we stopped? LCal 101, that's fine. That's in the controller right there. So, oh nope, I see what it is. All these cars. Okay, let's take a look at it. Now this is the depot configuration, and I'm finding errors already. Let me show you the first error. Okay, we'll look at how these engines right here are tagged. Y, BAR, that's fine. Dash hump, that's an issue. Okay, the word hump has to be in the tag, yes, but it cannot have anything connected to it, and it cannot be as part of a word. It has to be separate. And I found that out when I started to use these, and it was the same way. Y dash BAR dash hump space 2. And when I went to go AI it started to pull it out of the receiving yard. So I had to stop and then separate, get rid of the dash, and everything became fine. So that's what so actually I need to read. I'm thinking about it. I should retag these. And pretty much just remove that. Remove this. And we're good. Alright. Properly tagged. So we can use them. And then I'm coming over here. So the reason this stopped is because everything's coming down this track. What cars are these? YGT. San Bernardino, SBA. So I want to take a look at this because I think, let's see. Let's go back to the hump here. I want to take a look at the San Bernardino. Where's San Bernardino? Because that might be a problem with how the cars are being tagged. So get close to the shack right there. Control, left control F6. So track 1, which is where everything went, is slough, which means you don't know what to do with the cars. You shove them in there. Shop cars, Barstow fuel, Barstow sand. That's really what should only go in there. Now, San Bernardino, you know what? San Bernardino doesn't even have a track. Overflow. No, it does. Right there. SBD. San Bernardino. So San Bernardino cars should have gone down. Yeah, they actually should have gone down track 5. So once again, we're looking at, even though it's kind of weird, SBA by itself, these should not have gone. So there's a problem in the tagging. Whether it's in the tagging here or whether it's in the controller. Let's go down and look at some of these other cars. So, okay. RCal 0041. I don't think I can do it here. Nope, I gotta go back. LS916J. I think I see where the problems are. F6. Well, LS916J does not even have a... Okay. So what I'm going to do, okay, I'm going to fix something here. Alright, it's clear. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this entire string. So actually relinquish the train. Grab this one. Okay. I'm going to do this. Clear and copy player train. That's all the cars that are there. I'm going to show you why I'm going to do this. Because I got to figure out the tagging system, what they did. This is, once again, depot configuration. So why these cars that are supposed to be going down to San Bernardino, SBA, and the SBA is in here. 1, 2, 3, 4. They should have gone down these tracks. The next ones don't have a spot. So I might relabel like one of the overflow tracks for that. Yard. Okay, so Y SBD 3021 Archer Daniel Midlet ADM. So I can see why that went there. View, that's okay. Oh, 0041. I don't think there's a track for that. I can see why. LS916. Okay, we already know LS913. LS. Okay, all these cars don't have a track programmed in. Alright, I need to grab a pen and paper. Yeah, pen and paper. Farmer, what's pen and paper? Never heard of that. What is that? Well, you know, back in the day when we used to dial our phones. What's up, Raymond? How you doing? Good to see you online. How you feeling today? All right, everybody, that's my buddy that I've been talking about. That is the man, the myth, the legend. That is Farmer Lord hanging in there. So, yeah, we're trying to figure out here what's going on in the Barstow yard as to why these cars aren't being sorted, and I'm already starting to see why a lot of these cars are not being sorted. So I'm going to do a little bit of a cheat. And this is how flexible this program is. LS913J, LS910J. Why am I thinking that's Union Pacific? Could be wrong. LOQ53, 906. Hang on, let me look through my notes here. That's all CSX stuff. I don't want CSX. Can you remember how to write? Stick the pen between your big toe and the next toe to it, and that way, you know, if you can write like that, it keeps your hands free. Gladco, Arvin Branch. That is. Those LSs actually need to go to that. Those actually need to go to West Colton. That's all Union Pacific. So actually what they would do, we would actually set those aside and let, you know, then put them out on the departure yard over here, and then let a Union Pacific train come down, pick them up as they're passing out of Yermo coming through Barstow. And then the CMXR, that's all this, that's the CMX plant. That is BNSF. And then the boron local 0611 actually has a track. Why is it not coming here? And I think it's the way it's actually tagged in the tagger. That's why. Alright, so what I did by grabbing this is, look at this. Well, oh, I cleared the track. And let me fly my drone all the way down here. That's the clear one. So I'm going to come back down here. We're going to resort these. That's the empty track. Control F1. We're going to go place train. So the ones that we just pulled out, I'm not losing them. I just re-put them right there. Alright, so now this guy should start pushing. I want to see what happens with these two cars here. We're gonna be a lot of stuff. I remember a while ago using the depot config. Some of the cars are double tagged, and it somehow throws it off, sends the cars down the wrong track. Yeah, that's better than the Bluetooth method. Well, if you got the Bluetooth farmer, that's because, you know, you need to brush your teeth more often. Isn't that what Bluetooth means? That you're not brushing your teeth enough? But yeah, Mr. White, how you doing, Quincy White? Good morning to you. I'm waiting to see if this guy's gonna, or if I have to re-AI him. Let me go back. I think I have to re-AI him now I think about it. Yep, I do. Alright. Now he's now we'll let the computer go ahead and shove him over. But yeah, you know, I mean, it's. I thought that, I mean, I was thinking when I looked at the configuration before for the hump yard, I'm like, oh, this is kind of nice. You don't have to put the whole local number in there, but that's what they did. They left it out. And then one of the definitely one. I got a couple of overflow tracks. I think I'm going to reprogram those and turn that into the LS locals. Have them all go down there, and then that'll be the ones going to Union Pacific. So this is what I was talking about, Farmer. This here is actually, I mean, right now, this is the hump yard in Barstow, and we are just shoving cars over it'll automatically pull the pin. They'll roll down, and they should sort themselves if things are done right. Now, if these cars go down track number 1, then yeah, I got to redo the entire hump yard, and we'll be taking these cars and putting them somewhere, sorted out later. It looks like it's gonna go. Looks like these are gonna go right down the right down track number 1. We'll see. Cause come back over. See, I just saw a 103 go by, and I don't think there is a 103, so that's gonna go slough. So, yeah, this right here needs to be fixed. So we'll let these cars get pushed over, and then we'll go ahead and we'll sort it. I'm doing good. I'm actually doing pretty good. I got today and then tomorrow, and then I go back to work. So, which I'm actually looking forward to. I mean, as much fun as it is to stream and play video games, I'm bored. I'll be honest with you. So, we'll go back to the high school and chase kids. It's like herding cats, but they're good kids. So, too many blueberry pies, yeah. Well, that'd be a blue face. Get your face in there and just like, what is that? I was watching Stand By Me the other day, and they had that blueberry pie eating contest, and yeah, that scene cracks me up. But it's amazing. I was like looking at it going, wow, this is really an old movie, because I think some of those actors, well, I know Will Wheaton was in it, and he's just a kid, and now he shows up in and it's been a few years since it's been on the air, but he was in Big Bang Theory as a nemesis to Sheldon, one of many. So, but it was just, yeah, I just forgot. It was a good movie. And Richard Dreyfuss even looked young too. Yeah, see, everything's going down the 1 yard here. So, all right, so this needs to be fixed. I'm not even sure if that's the correct local for the CMX plant. Let's go. I'm gonna have to bring that up, flipping these switches, because when I come out, I'm gonna have to come up and around and grab the next set of cars. There we go. But look, happiness is a full receiving yard. No, it's not. What's up, 770? I'm doing well. How are you doing? So, hey, the other day, I know I just want to apologize to you. I know you were chatting with me. I was so focused on playing that one game with my daughter that I didn't see your chat until when I was almost done. So, apologize for that. But hey, welcome back. Welcome back. Always good to have you. Oh, okay. Have a good one, Ray. I'll talk to you later. Enjoy your movie. I haven't seen that one in a long time. Is that the old movie? The old one, the original one? Was it the Phantom with Billy Zane? I don't know. Did they ever remake that one? I never was really a Billy Zane fan. But don't worry about it. You seem like you were having a lot. I was. And my daughter and I did this yesterday. We had a issue with episode 4 yesterday. I kind of said it at the beginning of my stream. I'll say it again. But the drivers somehow got corrupted right right at the end of that stream. And I was almost done. All I had to do was I was in the process of getting ready to you know, set out the tank cars, set out the borax cars, and the posh cars and the coal cars had already been sorted out, and then parked the engines, and I was going to be done with the stream. So, but all of a sudden, it's like everything on my end went black, but it looked like the stream was still going, and the car, it was, so I had no choice. I had to reboot, and when I rebooted, it wouldn't even, the Windows wouldn't load the drivers, and they said they're corrupt, and it tried. I mean, I sat there and watched it for about maybe 5 minutes, just cycling, and then finally it came up with with using the Windows native drivers, which they didn't look too bad, to be honest with you. I could have probably gone with that, but I'm just hoping that that's not going to make me regret staying with NVIDIA when I bought the new video card, because like I said, that was my issue with the old video card, was that, and it did improve the anti-aliasing by going to a new video card, but now I think what's wrong in Run 8 right now is a Run 8 issue, that they're anti-aliasing. They need to redo something, and that's what I was saying yesterday. I think that it might almost be time for a version 4, just to improve graphics. Everything else seems to be fine, just the graphics need to be improved. Just my opinion. What do I know? Yeah, see this. YSBD 3021, that's not going to go anywhere. No wonder that's going down the slough yard. YBK50, that's a Union. See, that too is Union Pacific. Alright, we got the last couple of cars here. We're going to let them go. Now I'm going to do some programming. This is going to be a short stream, guys. Mostly it was coming on just to, like, explain what happened yesterday. So, yeah, I agree. AI, okay, I'm trying to gather my thoughts on that one. I'm thinking my thought with, and I mean, it's going to be people that are a lot smarter than me. But right now the big thing is all about Chat GPT. Okay, well, AI is becoming this huge thing. I mean, it's moving into the medical industry, all that. So with the advancements in AI, what can they do with it in Run 8? Okay, that's my first thought now. Then I understand, like, okay, I'll use the hump yards here in Barstow as an example versus the hump yard in Roseville. Actually that's not a good, yeah, no, it is a good example, because if the AI if Otto's doing what he's supposed to be doing, as soon as I AI this train, all the switches here in Barstow are computer controlled, CTC controlled. So Otto can switch them. The ones that he can't switch are the manual throw ones. A lot of that, in the bowl, they look like manual throw, but AI can take care of it. But anywhere else in other yards, he can't. Mojave, as an example. When I brought that unit train into Mojave, it was CTC controlled switches, and then so I can send the train in, kinda, sorta, and then now we're in the yard, and now I gotta start flipping switches myself to get the train to go down the track that I want it to go down, and then at the very end I gotta throw a switch against the train, so that way the AI knows, it'll stop the train, and that's how I stopped it in Mojave. To that end, what I'd like to see them do is, okay, I can route a train to Barstow, I can route a train to West Colton, I can route a train to Vacaville and say, go to Vacaville. Now here's the thing, Barstow and West Colton, the trains will stop there. But if I say route to Vacaville, okay, there needs to be something where I can say, okay, I want to go to Vacaville and stop in Vacaville. That's my only thing, and that was earlier on when I first started playing Run 8, and I sent a train to Vacaville, and I went to Vacaville to go work the train, and it wasn't there. You know, where was it? You know, it was gone. It had gone off the map. So it was actually a pretty good stream. I mean, yesterday I took I got the train out of the Cyril's yard, and we got it. We dropped off 4 boxcars at the Navy Yard. We loaded up the West End facility with cars. We got the potash cars dropped at the Argonne facility in Trona. The coal cars were dropped, and then I was coming around the loop track. Well, actually, I'd gone around the loop track to drop it so I can come back and drop the coal cars, and then I was going to get ready just to like start moving things out to where I can push the acid cars in, get ready to push the acid cars into their location, and then the borax cars into their location, and then park the engine. That's where I was at, and then, like I said, everything on my end just went black. Lost all video. But I was watching the stream on my stream monitor, which is separate from the computer, and it was fine. It was still streaming, even though it was black on my screen. I kept waiting for it to go black there, and it never did. So it was something kind of funky in the driver somewhere, but anyway. But other than that, it's a good stream. I did get it. I did fix it. So everything's in its place right now, and when I advance time, everything's loaded, and that's another area that I need to go back and take a look at the industries, because I just don't like the way the cars were tagged. So yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, it would be. Yeah, I mean, you're probably right, Mr. White. I don't know, but I mean, there's something. Yeah, there's always some kind of improvements. I mean, yeah, I mean, I've talked about the routes. I mean, you know, from why, you know, they gave us Northern California, but then you skipped an entire subdivision between Southern California and Northern California. So are you just going to come back and do, I mean, that would be an amazing subdivision if you think about it. I mean, to go from Fresno up through Central California, tied into Roseville, and BNSF heads out to the Bay Area, and both UP and BNSF, they have track rights on each other's tracks. So you're gonna see them come together, go separate, and then head over. Then that would basically tie in the Bay Area, was it Port of Oakland? I'm thinking here, was it Port of Oakland, Port of Richmond? I can't remember, one of those two right there. Yeah, the Bay Area to Southern California, which we don't have Long Beach, but we got trains coming up out of Long Beach. So there's so much to do. I mean, come on, guys, get with it. Just give us every single railroad in the United States, then we'll be happy. I'm not sure. Is that too much to ask? 770 I did. I did not download it. I did spend some time on the website looking at it, and they had the one word that made me stop and go, you know, and that word is scenario. You know, and that's why, like, you know, Train Sim, you know, and Train Sim World. I was even actually looking at trains too to see, because that's an interesting editor. I'm still thinking about it, but I don't know. Like I said, I looked at it, and it looks very interesting. Don't get me wrong; it looks really interesting. I think it's got the graphics are really good, but it's a scenario thing. In other words, you know, it's not open world like this, like what Run 8 is. So at least by what I saw in their description. So. Yeah, the one thing with Roseville is not a one route that makes it possible for a merge. It's 4 different routes. Yeah, no, you're right. And I mean, at least when they came out with Pittsburgh, they've, you know, if you follow some of those tracks out there, it says standby or whatever, you know, for, you know, To be continued. That's what it says. At the come to the end of the track, it says to be continued. So it's like they have plans to expand that one. You know, where's the rest? I mean, yeah, and then I'd also like to see. It'd be kind of interesting because you look at like the Chicago area. I mean, how many different railroads come into the Chicago area, and it's all interchange. You know, so it's a huge interchange point. BNSF comes in, UP comes in, CSX comes in, NS comes in, what used to be Kansas City comes in. So, I mean, have them all, have that modeled, and then you send a train from here, and then somehow it shows up on that thing. That'd be a daunting task for them to program. But if I'm sending a train to Chicago, and it comes into Chicago, whatever yard I want to have it go there, and now I can take that and break that train up and send it out to the different other. I don't know. I have ideas. That's all I'm going to say. I have ideas. Yeah, it does seem scenario-based. When I had to go on it, the trains seem very realistic, and it guides you through how to drive them. See, tutorial, I'm not against tutorials. In fact, I mean, Run 8's got such a higher learning curve that to have tutorials in it would not be a bad thing. You know, and know that I could accept that as this is your limited number of scenarios. This is it. And then when you complete those, you're ready to go. You've passed your checkout, and now you're out. Now you get to go out in the open world, and then you're into here. So that would be nice. To go back to 2013, when I started playing Run 8, the Yuma sub was announced. Wow. Wait, did we ever get the Yumas? So it's not even like, okay, this is what you do, and this is why. Yeah. I actually went looking for. There was a question that was asked of me in the real world here, and I ended up going looking for a really decent video on how train brakes work, and Heiss has one that, you know, he's very good at it, and his little Joe Magnetron way of showing how it works and stuff like that was very good. But the best one, I think, in my opinion, for me, the one I found on how things work and how train brakes work was one that was done by Conrail, and a long time ago, and it was I'm like, okay, now I understand it, and I can explain it to somebody else. You know, but in that process of looking for that video, I found one that was from Train Sim World, and I'm like, well, let's see what these guys, how they explain it. And all it was like, here, push this lever for the automatic brake, push this lever for the independent brake, you know, pull back to release, look how it reacts with the entire train. Okay, have fun. Next. Not much, you know. So scenarios. Yuma got binned. Wow. Yuma sub would have filled in one of the major gaps in the SoCal region. I think they always had future plans to go back to SoCal and finish it off. Yuma got binned. See, and then I'm wondering if when they programmed the, you know, I'm sitting here talking and not doing anything. I'm thinking that when they programmed this stuff, I wonder if they've put themselves in in kind of a bind that they can't connect. I don't know. I don't know why, but it just seems like it would have been nice. All right, let's get these guys out of here. You can turn it off though, but it was very helpful to each training. Quite, yeah. I mean, that'd be interesting. I mean, it would be, well, it would be very interesting because, I mean, they're all European trains, which I know nothing about. Like, and I think they're right. They're kind of like, they look more like, well, definitely Eastern European. But like I said, when I was reading through the directions for the ZD simulator, it was scenarios. You know, lots of scenarios. And I'm like, I don't want to do scenarios. I like jumping in my sandbox and you know, deciding where I want to kick dirt. It took 5 years to complete. See, and I keep forgetting. I keep forgetting that these guys, this is not their main job. You know, their main job is, you know, they're conducting, they're driving trains, driving truck, whatever it might be. This is not their main. This is not their main source of income. This is not their main thing. It's because they have a passion, and I think a lot of it has to do for the same reason that I'm saying what I'm saying about scenarios. They were looking for something that was going to give them a very realistic railroad experience. And at the time, the train simulators out there didn't have it. When I went looking for a train simulator, I honestly had never even heard of Run 8. Never heard of it. I mean, I went looking for a Microsoft train simulator. I knew it was out there. I saw it a long time before. Just never picked it up. Then I decided, you know what? Here's more YBK50. Those are, yeah, I gotta fix that. Vulcan. Where's that at? RVVU. You know, I keep doing this, guys. I got that poll out there where I'm going to come. I have a feeling I'll be coming back to Southern California. Because with this configuration, there's a lot to fix. What is it? What the heck? I'm not sure what those are. New core switcher. NSK. So yeah, see, that's the thing. It's like I had not even known that Microsoft had canceled their project. I went looking for it, couldn't find it. Then I found out it was canceled. Now I'm bummed. Wanting to still look. I started looking, and I started looking at, you know, at Train Sim World, Train Simulator, all the ones that were out there. We'll start, you know, diving into YouTube videos, and believe it or not, it was, I forgot what I was watching. Oh, it was no, then I discovered Derail Valley, which I was actually playing that the other day. I like what now that it's fully released as Derail Valley Simulator. I really like it, so I'll be doing some Derail Valley. And I found that, and it was kinda sorta what I was looking for. I guess if you're looking for anything that's going to be like a virtual model railroad, that would be it. Although I was looking more for, it looks to me like you got Steam, but you got like some European cars, because, you know, American cars don't have the bumpers. We don't need bumpers over here. At the same time, folks are making routes for, yeah. And see, and that's, and I think, well, Open Rail, isn't it Open Rails that uses the config files or route files from Microsoft? But as it is, I mean, like I said, Derail Valley was fun. It was still into, you know, I guess the, you know, pre-release, and it worked, and I was, you know, I had fun on it, but it wasn't exactly what I was looking for, and it just happened to be, I was watching a YouTube video from Derail Valley, and the individual that was putting it out was talking with a couple of friends, and it was like, you know, multiple people playing, and I heard something about Run 8. Well, what's Run 8? You know, and so I started searching for Run 8, and then I put all credit to this one, Chris T, NS Horsehead SD70, his YouTube videos. I will give that man all the credit in the world, because I'll say if there's any one individual that brought me to run Abe, was him. And he had a lot of, version 1, version 2 videos, which still apply, but I'm watching his videos and I'm like, this is exactly what I was looking for. And this is, I don't have room for an actual model railroad, but this is what I wanted to do. When I was a kid, this is how I operated my model railroad when I did have one. And when I went to operating sessions at older gentlemen's homes, these guys had, 2-level, 3-level model railroad layouts, and we operated as if it was a real railroad, and this is filling that Jones for me. That's what I thought. See, because I went and grabbed open rails thinking that was going to do it, not knowing anything about it, and then I found out, you can, I guess you can use it, and but it wasn't what, once again, it wasn't what, for me, it wasn't what I was looking for. And that's what I'm saying that for. There's a lot of LS 913s, LS 913, LS 916s. A lot of cars here for Union Pacific. So today's video is really, I'm just sort of playing around. I was going to go, I was hoping to clear the hump yard and do, fill the bowl, do some trim. I did send one train out that was sitting there tagged for San Bernardino. I'm letting it go. Not really structured for anything in particular. More just to get out, spend a little time, have a chat, maybe spend an hour or two. Casual day today, guys. Nothing really planned. A little fast. Why you drive so fast? Why are you guys still running? Alright, let's take a look. Oh yeah, I know. There we go. Oh, I think I know what I'm going to do. I might have to jump in and see if I can. I haven't been on the Mateo server in quite a while. The thing I most remember about V1 is that it was brutal in every sense of the word. Oh, well, that didn't come out on. When I was watching Chris T's videos, it didn't come out that it was brutal, but. We're version 3. There has to be some improvements, so. And I know correct me if I'm wrong, it wasn't until version 2 that you actually got AI. Hello Q53. So I think it's a combination of having to retag cars, reprogram the hump yard, in order to get Barstow properly cleared out. There was no handling. It was straight into the pan and fire with no grease. Wow. Well, I appreciate not having to experience that then. And and don't get me wrong, I appreciate everything that these guys have done, because independent company, not their full-time gig. I mean, this is a love for railroading is what this is. So I do appreciate it. I mean, in the gaming world, I just think in the world in general, everybody's going to throw their 2 cents worth in. Well, you should have done, should have done, should have done, should have done. My approach is, hey, I wish you had done, but I appreciate what you have done. And yeah, and I'm gonna keep saying that I wish you had connected, Northern California with Southern California with the Stockton subdivision, because there's so much potential in there. I mean, I've got trains rolling through this town all day long, all night long, lullaby me to sleep. All right. So, let me see what we got. GTR. This is all Kingman. The whole string for Kingman. Cal 0103. Page 42. Wait, I know that one somewhere. That's the sad thing is I'm starting to actually, without even trying, I'm starting to memorize the locals, where they're coming out of. See, this is Bakersfield. 910's Bakersfield. So all these should go onto one track, because this is all Bakersfield. And that's all Union Pacific Bakersfield, not BNSF. This is a BNSF yard. There's an awful lot of Union Pacific in here, but I guess, interchange. Roseville is kind of the outlier because they isolated it for a reason. Well, I think it was one of those things where, hey, we're gonna give you an iconic, through the mountain experience with, over the Sierras. It's history, major part of railroad history in this country, but let's see. This belongs here. Oh, I don't think it's something else. Okay. These five right here. RSWE 0091. I'm not familiar with that one. That's one I'm going to have to look up. Vulcan, VU, Vulcan. I have to look that one up too. Here's more. This is more Union Pacific Bakersfield. Because if you pay attention. Ah, gotcha. Okay. That far, you know what? In my own personal life, I've never been past Sparks. So Sparks is as far east as I've gone on railroad. So I was not aware of that, but that's pretty cool. Okay, but still, I don't know. It can't. I mean, they would have to do. They probably could do it. It's build it to where they can continue on and expand. Give it to a major company. Let them put a team of people on it and give us railroads. All the Class 1 railroads in the U.S. That would be daunting. So cool. All right, let's do. Up here. Whoa. Oh, okay. Okay. I take this one. Don't ask me why I'm doing this one. I'm just choosing a track. And alright, that one. LS 910J. 6J. LS 917J. And then LS 916J. So any car for there would go to the Bakersfield yard. Okay, LOP 53 goes to Mojave. LOQ 53. I think I wrote that one down because I crossed it out. It was LOP 53. And then did they give us? No, they did not. Alright, and then I'm going to come down here. Look at that KG. TN? Is that what it was? Can't remember. KGTR. Alright, which all goes to Kingman, Arizona. TR. Go there. And then this one would be L, Cal, and this one, same thing. I think these are the same. And I think that one's the same. What do you think, Mr. White? Let me get caught up here. Roseville's kind of because you pay attention. Okay, now if you wanted to do the Roseville SoCal merge, any one of these three would do it. Cal P to the old Martinez sub, the Stockton sub, or you know, you know what? I forgot about the Martinez sub. So Stockton would be the logical choice because half of it is already there. That's what I think. That's what I'm saying is that Stockton would be the one because I believe it's Stockton that bridges that gap between Fresno, Callaway Yard, which is where SoCal stops right now as you come up into Central California. And then I think it's Stockton subdivision from there to Roseville. If I looked at the map right, I think it's just that one. And then part of the Stockton also goes west toward the Bay Area. And then I think it connects to the Martinez subdivision, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. You're more knowledgeable in this than I am. But when I was looking at the map, I'm like, wow, this would be great. I mean, we would actually, and I remember the outcry too. There was a lot of people who were like, why did you not just connect it? Because it's so close. And like I said, I mean, I would like to see, I was looking at the maps of Chicago and looking at the rail maps and going, wow, look at this. You got, here's a CSX yard, here's an NS yard, BNSF yard. I'm like, everybody comes into Chicago. Huge interchange area. And if I could send a train from Southern California to Chicago, have it come into Chicago, and then actually have it, be able to transfer from one map to another. If they had some way of doing that, that would be pretty cool. Even if you had these huge gaps, I'm sending a train to Roseville. It hits, Calwa and then dumps into some kind of a XML file that can be accessed by the Roseville map. Do you want to pull in, give you that option. Let's go and grab this train, bring it in. Right, because you've got, and they have track rights all up in Maine. They have their own tracks, especially in this town. In this town here, UP is on the west side of town. BNSF is on the east side of town. And so we're surrounded. So, but they also at a couple points they do come together. But pretty much, like UP is parallels Highway 99. Pretty much all the way up. So I don't know. It's a lot. I get it. It is. I can only envision that they're sending people, hey, I'm going to take a trip and go photograph stuff, or I'm going to get on Google Earth and look at it that way. However they're doing it, my hat is off to them. I think it's an amazing thing that what the developers have done. And I think that they've kept their focus where it needs to be. Not on the scenery, but on the operations and how trains operate. And I think that's where a lot of other train simulators, and this is just my opinion, a lot of our train simulators, it's all about the glitz and the glamour. But here it's like, the scenery's not bad. It's not the best, but it's not bad. And they do things like, the Davis Yard in Roseville, there's the Davis office, and there it is. And I've got pictures of it. So, all right, let's push this train over and see how this works. I forgot to check. All right, okay, let's give that a try and see how this one works. And hey, you, go to work. All right. And I think we need to line them into it. There we go. All right. And we'll go down here, and I'll park over here so we can watch the hump yard. Here, turn around so we can see the train coming first. Make sure it's actually moving. So you know what that tells me, Mr. Y? I mean, yeah, because I mean they really developed SoCal, and there was I mean they've given us a lot. And when I was talking to my buddy Ray earlier, who was in here, that's Farmer Lord, and he's somewhat interested in it. He was looking at the website with me. I did offer him to buy the base game, you know, and that's why that's why he popped in, because I sent him a message. Hey, just to know, if you want to see what it's like to be in Barstow, I'm on right now, and so that's why he popped in to look. I don't know. I'm not holding my breath, but I do hope, because I mean I also told him up front too that if you do decide to come do this, I'm going to stream it, and there'll be a series of streams of me helping a friend, you know, to learn Run 8, because by teaching, I learn more. I do that with the kids at the high school. I always tell them, I said, I don't know everything, but by teaching you, it reinforces what I do know, and then I always find out something new. You know, and you guys teach me. You know, that's anyway. That's my goal, is to hopefully get him in here and get somebody in. But at present, seems that are trying a new formula, smaller chunks of routes. Pits being the example takes less time to build. Yeah, I mean, I have to admit, I mean, if you can drive a road train from one end of the Pittsburgh subdivision to the other, and I think I did it in like an hour and a half. People are fickle, okay? And I have to admit, if I'm not in here streaming, I'm actually like on the computer, on my tablet, on my phone, and I'm diving into that route, because I'm actually having a ton of fun figuring out the uniqueness of that route, that the Norfolk Southern seems to me, and this is my perspective, seems to me like it is the road trains are A to B along that, and they're dropping stuff off at the yards as they're coming through, but all the switching are done by little short line railroads. So, and if you look at the map that they've come out with on the Depot Plus server, they gave us a route, but they still have, I mean, there's only one yard that I see so far that actually has one little section on it where they have the actual length of the tracks. That's it. But there's no industries or anything on that. So I'm like, this is a perfect time for me to jump in and start my own little spreadsheet and try to figure out that route, where the industries are, and how to work them. And I'm having fun doing that too. I'm not one of those people that give me hand everything to me. I want to figure it out. Try to wrap. That's what I said. The SoCal, BNSF, and UP make sense to me. I understand how I tag, but the CSX and Norfolk Southern, how they tag stuff, it's completely foreign to me. But does that mean I'm going to stay away from it? No. I'm actually going to dive into it. I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to figure out their logic and go, oh, now I see how they're looking at it. I agree with that. Run 8 does. I mean, it does have a high learning curve. Run 8 does. I mean, it does, and that's why I think a series of tutorials would be very nice. Hey, when you buy the base game, here's how you do stuff. And just a series of tutorials. And when you complete the tutorials, you make a big deal out of it. You give them a virtual certificate and go, now you're eligible to go out and play in the open world. Or which game was the game I was just playing? Star Citizen, which I'm going to fire that up today, because that one's still in development. But they do have a system in there where you can, when you first come in, you want to know how to play this game? Click this button and we'll get you a mentor. That would be huge, especially on the Depot Plus side. That would be huge to have somebody come in and say, hey, I'm your mentor. Come in on the multiplayer side. Join us on the public server. I'll be here, be in this TeamSpeak channel or be in this Discord. And honestly, I would say, what do you prefer, TeamSpeak or Discord? Oh, you prefer Discord? Okay, here's my Discord channel. Meet me in my Discord channel. I will teach you what I know, and we'll go have some fun running trains. Because it's got a high learning curve, but it's not hard. That's the thing. It's the beauty of it. It's not a hard thing to learn. Oh, crap. I'm going to have some slough cars come down. Come on, get up here. What are you doing down there in the basement? You know what? I'm just going to delete those. I want to see. This is more to see what else needs to be changed, because something needs to be changed in this. And that's all I'm doing, guys. I'm actually this is actually a really good stream that can show people that how flexible Run 8 really is. And I think that's when I first came into Run 8, I was kind of approaching it like any other game that I was playing, that you had to do it this way. You know, and it's very flexible, like, you know, changing the hump controller, which track is what, changing your industries out, renaming them, creating new, you know, getting rid of locals, creating new local trains, changing XML files, which is, you know, so you can change the routing of trains. They gave us a lot of flexibility, an extreme amount of flexibility, you know, and that's the beauty of the open world side of it. And I think a lot of people are like, well, no, I'm so used to having to do A, B, C, D, and I think that's if you can understand what I'm trying to say. Now, how the CSX system works is a no-brainer for me, because let's just say I have a lot of experience with them, so being able to operate CSX territories comes easy for me. I just hate the new symbols we use. Oh, I got you. Yeah, I guess the thing is, the symbols, I don't know, I think, was it K is like, isn't K a manifest train? I don't know, but like, you know, you look at a train come through, it might be like K268. Okay, I get the symbol, because I can look that up and go, okay, your symbol is this, you know, and, you know, K might mean manifest, or it might be, you know, I can wrap my head around that. But then the 268, where does the 268 come from? What does that mean? How do you generate that? You know, what's the logic behind it? That's where, you know, and you know, and S is different. Everybody's got their own, as long as they know as long as, I guess the bottom line is, as long as you can get you know, any car from point A to point B, and it doesn't get lost. Which makes me wonder how many times railroad cars get lost. The RSWE 0091I. I know that's for something. I have to look that one up. So I intermodal makes sense. I for intermodal. 033 is an intermodal. M is always manifest, which was in the old times. B for bulk, and so on. Yeah, see, that makes sense. But the 003. So I is it's an intermodal train. I get that. But 003, how does that get generated? That's the part that I'm. You know, that's what does 0 mean one territory versus like 103 would be a different territory, and then the 33 would be a subdivision in that territory. That's what I'm trying to wrap my head around. So I can look at a car like being an SWUP, I can look at it and look at how the engines are tacked. I said, oh, okay, this train's going from here to here. Got it. Oh, RCal. That was RCal 0041. I got that one wrong. That was LCal. .003 is a 3-number designation. And this is the point where I start banging my head on the table. And see, everything's going down the slough track. I'm just waiting to see if these other ones, what I redid. But that one should have been it was RCal. I think I put it in as LCal, so I need to fix that. Okay, what's going on at work? Text messages are flying. Oh. Okay. 770's back. He had to get something. Some scran. Actually, just realized I haven't eaten yet. 0 can represent origin. The 2 number can represent the date, etc. Okay, so I would be intermodal. 2 would be the origin of that train. And the first 0 would be the origin of the train, and then the date. Okay. No, you're fine, man. I like this. You know, and I look at it this way. I mean, first of all, number 1, Quincy, I'm learning. Number 2, anybody who watches this stream now or in the future, they're going to learn some stuff. And that's ultimately, this is really what I want to do, is I want to build, my goal is to build the base for Run 8. Okay, I mean, it has so much potential. And I don't think these cars are not going to go to San Bernardino. Even though it says SBA and there's an SBA track, those cars will not go down that track. Sorry. But anyway, that's my goal, is to build the base. And I'm the whole logistical side of how the cars move and where they move and how they get from point A to point B. You know, I kind of enjoy that stuff. Oh, it looks like they are. Let's see. Well, that one, we went down the right one. Okay. What's up, Bob? Welcome to the stream, man. I knew somebody was missing. CSX symbols are weird in general. That's why we despise them. It's all, to me, I mean, on a person standing out looking in, it seems to me like it's, okay, BNSF is doing it this way, UP is doing it this way, we need to come up with our own. You know, as opposed to, how about everybody's all standardized, so that way, you know, if a car is in Mohawk and it's going SBA, everybody's going to know that's San Bernardino. You know, and it'll eventually end up on the BNSF. So I don't know, but yeah, these cars. Let's see. Yeah, a lot of these cars are going to go back down that slough track again because the way it's all programmed. I did get some cars to go down. Look at this. I got one right there going the right way. That one's going the right way. Some of these cars are. It's you know what? I need to write that one down. RSWE. I don't know what that one is. I got a bunch of those. RSWE 009I. Alright, we'll figure out where those are supposed to go, because I don't know where they go. But yeah, this is, like I said, this is in I'm using the Depot Plus configuration. Look, slough track is almost already full. And these cars are going to fill it. You know what? I can do something. I just realized I think I can do this. If I do that, it stops it. And oops. R count 0041. Okay. There we go. Make sure that I have. Yep. There we go. Recrew them so it stops it. I keep hitting that key to get out of it. That's other game stuff that makes me keep hitting the escape key. Yeah. NS and CSX would be the weird. They'd be the redhead stepchild. So, but you know, I think a lot of companies just they do that to say this is our way. You see it in a lot of different industries. We're going to do it this way. Most notably, Apple. You know, Apple is like for the longest time their phones would charge up with the lightning cable. This was their idea. Androids use something different. But they were both pushing for, you know, their connection to be the industry standard. Well, Europe went to, was it USB-C? So now everybody's going to have to go USB-C. So that way, and that's what Apple did with their new phone, is they went to USB-C for charging and data transfer. So, and that's just that's an example. But everybody wants their way to be the industry standard, and they stay with it regardless. SP Bob, I'm going to tell you, it looks like another beautiful day here in the Central Valley. I'm hoping it's just as beautiful up there where you're at as it is down here. I think you're right. I mean, UP and BNSF. I mean, UP uses 2, BNSF uses 3, but if you can look at the symbol and go, yeah, that train's coming from here and it's going there. CSX, okay, it's an I. That's an intermodal. I can see it's an intermodal. You need to put an I on it. I can see it's an intermodal, but okay, let me go look the numbers up. Hang on. That's a 2. Okay, that's a 2. Okay, there's a 2. There's a 3. Okay, I got it. And eventually, over time, you're going to have it all memorized anyway. Apple doesn't want its way to be the industry standard. Well, they do, but they don't. I used to work for Apple back in the day. And we used to talk about that in meetings and stuff. How like, yeah, this is going to become the industry standard. But Apple's, what they've always done is that they have always taken a look at what other people have done and find ways to pump control or shut off, relinquishing AI. And because those last cars that just went down the track are going to fill up the slough yard. Yeah, no, that's always it. They do that. Apple does that 770 through the iCloud and everything, and so it's a seamless transition between an Apple computer to an iPad to an iPhone. No matter what you do on one should show up on the other, and that's what and if you look at it, other industries, we got a big problem down here. These cars like locked up down here too. But other like you see it in Microsoft now. Microsoft has done a lot of stuff that Apple's done. They were like at one time, this is our industry where, we're going to do it this way. Well, now you take a look at, they don't have a new operating system. They just keep updating the one that they had. Well, Apple was good for that. And then Apple was good for building antivirus into their own operating system, and it's down to such a way that if you get a virus on their computer, all you got to do is turn your computer off, turn it back on again, and it self-cleans. Microsoft is starting to do that now. So we do see some of it in the industries where they're like, you know what, that's a good idea, we should do the same thing. It's convenient for the customer. Wow, this just died on the vine right here. I'm sorry, guys. We're going to go ahead and delete that. I'm going to delete this as well, too. I'm not going to, yeah. All right, let's go ahead and finish pushing this one over. I got a lot of work to do. This is going to be going to look at all these cars that are in here and redoing that whole hump controller in the lazy farmer way. So you can imagine how often it is for CSX crews to call out the wrong symbol because of the way the new ones are. They really... that's the thing is I was looking... Well, you look back, like I said, we modeled... This is what, the 2010 era in railroading and Run 8. And then they've recently changed in CSX. Why the change? For me, it's like... somebody got hired into position, and then to justify the position, they came up with a whole new thing to say, look what I created. And well, what you created was a mess because now everybody's confused. Why didn't you just leave? If it's not broken, leave it alone. But yeah, I bet. I can see that. And, CSX crews, NS crews, same thing. I think they made some changes. Mr. White, I think I'm going to have to do a stream with down in the southeast on the CSX line, and you and I are going to have a conversation on just that. Just like, what does this symbol mean? Where is it going? Where is it coming from? Where is it going to? Jeff Foote was the mastermind of the new symbol change. And what was his justification for changing the symbols? Bigger paycheck? Better title? Right, that's what I said. If it's not broke, don't fix it. We see that. I mean, even in the school district, we see that. It's like, okay, this year, it was like, oh, we're getting somebody new up in the hierarchy, because so-and-so retired or they moved off to a different district, so we're going to get somebody new. And my response was, well, here come the new programs, because they got to justify their position, so they're going to come up with a whole bunch of new programs. And sure enough, here come all these new programs, and all they are the same old programs, slightly reworked under a different name. Well, if these other programs are working, leave them alone. They're not broken. Yeah, still don't know. So let's see, 770 is got to be almost 6 o'clock at night for you. Okay. How are things over there on the other side of the pond? PSR, if I remember the acronym, it was PSR was the idea that you're going to move car. It's supposed to increase car flow, which for the customer, that kind of made sense. I looked at it, and I look at it from, ex-retail manager, and like from the customer, it makes sense. But for logistically in a railroad, does it really make sense? Nice. Glad you're doing well over there, buddy. Yeah, precision schedule railroading. Yep, that's what. Yeah. So it never really was fully implemented by CSX, or just across the board, because some things that I look up and stuff, I still see it mentioned from time to time. But I did get the impression that like the rank and file just were like, because it was putting more of a burden on them. And once again, if it's not broken, don't fix it. If cars are showing up at their destination on time, when a customer specs it, yeah, yeah. If it's not, yeah, exactly. If it's not broken, don't. I mean, yeah, don't. Don't put a screwdriver to that. It's working. Or like the old Tim Allen TV series, Tool Time? I want to give it more power. No, it's working. Leave it alone. The TSX tried it, but it wasn't a reality for them. Now the other three fully adopted PSR as a way to shortcut and save money. That's my, you know what? And ultimately what you're saying right there, Mr. White, is it's going to be, they're looking at what the investors want, what's the bottom line, and that's never really a good thing. I mean, because you're gonna risk safety, all for the almighty dollar, or in the case of 770, the almighty pound, or the not so almighty pound, depending on where it's at in the scheme of things. But I'm tongue in cheek there. But yeah, it's like when I know Union Pacific, there's a YouTube video out there you can watch where they put out there, and they're doing their best to sell getting conductors out of the trains. So you're going to have an individual. That's it. One person in that little 8-foot box for 8 hours a day. At least 8 hours a day by themselves. I think that's a huge mistake. I like the idea of having don't get me wrong, I like the idea of having a rapid response team. I think that that's a good idea. But there's safety in numbers. And you've already taken the train crews down to 2 guys. And you can watch any number of videos out there for rail fans watching a train go by, and all of a sudden, wait a minute, that car's on the ground, and the train keeps going because it never busted an airline, and they have no clue that there's that they've got a derailment. And engineer breaks a knuckle. He's got to leave the controls of the engine to go fix the knuckle, or sit in that cab and wait for some guy to come out of who knows where, who's already going to be busy doing something else, to show up to repair that knuckle. I've worked in that industry, guys. Not for trains, but as a service technician, and I've been in that position where I got called to go to point A, and on my way to point A, hey, you got to go to point B also now because they got an issue. Well, I haven't gotten to point A, and I'm not going to leave there. I'll be there. I can tell you right now, I know what's going on over there. I'm going to be there for at least 6 hours. So now point B, they have nobody else, and they're waiting on me. That's what's going to happen with this. So yeah, to get the conductors out of the trains, I think it's a huge mistake. Oh yeah, no, it's happening. I was reading. I actually died. Yeah, this is to figure out. Okay, this is the kind of way my mind works. I'm playing a simulator. Something crosses my mind. I start diving in my free time. How does this work in the real world? How does this work prototypically? And I dive into the FRA stuff, and I found, I think it was from 2021. I found a memo talking of, I don't know where it happened, but it was talking about kicking cars and how a conductor was crushed, crushed and killed because of the policy of kicking cars and not doing it safely. And so the FRA doesn't want to come out and say don't do it. Instead, in the whole kicker, they leave it up to the railroads come up with a policy to make sure if you're going to kick cars, do it safely. Well, we're still having deaths, so the policies aren't working. And it all comes down to what? Hey, well, we can get down to one crew, or inside a yard here, we can put one guy up in the tower and he can work the controls remotely. That might be okay. I don't know, but still, I mean, you got to have boots on the ground. You got to have people in the cab, and those two individuals in the cab of that engine in that locomotive, they're going to work to keep each other asleep. Unless they're like really, really close and they want to sleep together, then you never can tell. But hey, no judge, no. But seriously, they're going to. Can you imagine an engineer falling asleep? Yeah, great, you got the alerter to keep waking him up, but at some point he's going to get so tired he's going to make a mistake, and you're going to end up what happened with NS in Ohio. No, it's not smart. It's not smart. I should post that video. It's just, it's a lie. It's seriously, and it's from Union Pacific, which really surprised me in that video, because they were the ones at one point I had read that they were against removing that extra crew member. Well, they call it the extra crew member out of the cab. I don't think that's an extra. I think that's a needed crew member in the cab. 2 people minimum. And maybe they need to look at the technology on the cars a little bit more too. And I know why they're doing it. They got they got that train down there in Australia that goes through the outback, and there's nobody in it. But that's just straight track, for miles and miles and miles and miles and miles all the way through the outback. There's no reason to put somebody in there. It's just a straight track. But when you're going through like LA or any place here in the United States, you got to have extra people. You got to have extra pair of eyes. You're right, 770. It can be. If you're working locals down in you're always doing something. So if you're down, say, Southern California, like you're on this map, on this map, down in the LA area, you're still got to look for, because you're gonna have multiple eyes out there, because you're gonna have idiots trying to run lights. You're gonna have homeless people camping. I say this because I listened to the radio chatter of Union Pacific and BNSF, the dispatcher going up and over the Sierra Mountains. And one night I'm listening, like the train had to come to a stop because a homeless person built their camp on the tracks. So what if that engineer is by himself and he decides, man, I'm thirsty. Let me go look in my cooler to go get something to drink. And he takes his eyes off of what's in front of him and looks up. There's no way he's going to stop his train. He would have wiped out that homeless camp. You know, I'm not going to talk about culling the herd, but I mean, you know, anybody who's going to build their camp on a railroad tracks, you're just asking to die. But that's a whole nother thing. Yeah, it is. I think it is a coal mine, but you're right. It's just like just straight. That's it. Oh my! It's you know what? It's not just L.A. It's here in this town where I live. It's in Sacramento where Bob lives. It's everywhere. You know, it is. It's and our current set of leaders, they're not addressing it. They're not addressing the issue, and then the issue is multifaceted. I'm not going to get on that tangent, but yeah, one-man train crew would never work in any scenario. Way too many variables. Yeah, no, exactly. It would never be feasible, but yet they want to do it, and that's what this video from Union Pacific talked about. Is that they're like, yeah, we're going to take the conductor because, you know, you break a knuckle and then the conductor's got to get out of his engine, and then he's got to walk down the train and find where the brake is at. Then he's got to walk back up and get the new coupler, and then he's got to carry it all the way down. That's how they're putting it. But well, you go walk down and find the brake and call for the engineer can leave the train, walk down, find the brake, call it in, and now the conductor can drive up with the coupler on the back of his truck, drive right up to where the brake is at, and put the new coupler on, and it's more safer. And blah, blah. I'm like, what if he's out in the middle of nowhere and there's no roads? You're making it sound like it's a beautiful thing because he's right there. There's a road that goes right to where the break happened. Most places, there's no roads. There's no way. He's got to four-wheel drive through some farmer's field, or through some ranch, and then get out. And no, it's not feasible. In the UK, we have a bylaw that makes it illegal to trespass on the. We have that too. It's illegal to trespass on railways. If you get caught, you get a £1,000 fine, and that's about $1.50 here in the States. And I'm kidding. And they are very serious about it. There has been people who trespass on railway and uploads it to YouTube, and they get tracked down by the police and fined, and they also have to do rail safety chores. I like the fact that they do that. Here I've actually witnessed, it's a double track that comes through. It's on the Union Pacific line, and it's right there where our bus depot is at. Although we don't have Amtrak, doesn't stop there. Amtrak stops on the other side of town. But there's this fence, and it always happens that the homeless people will go on the other side of the fence, between the fence and the tracks, and they'll build their camp. And on any given day, you go by there and you'll see police cars there, dump truck, a garbage truck there, and they're taking the homeless person off to the shelter, and they're taking all their stuff and throwing it in the trash, to clean out between the tracks and the fence. And it's like it's almost a daily thing. So I don't know. Anyway, safety should be number one. Safety is like number 4 in railroads. They talk about it, but that's all they do is they just talk about it. Well, all right. So what this has proven to me is I have a lot of work to do. Oh, here we go again. Oh my God, leave me alone. So I gotta really work on the hump yard here. I got engines to take off with a full yard full of power. Wow. Okay, so there's a lot of work to do here in Barstow. Let's go take a look at some areas. There's places in Southern California that I have never been. See, West Colton. Now, how busy Barstow is, how dead West Colton is. San Bernardino. Haven't done anything down here in San Bernardino. La Mirada. What's down here? There's yards down here. So I talk about like CSX and getting to know their numbers and stuff. This must be a La Mirada yard here. And there's a lot of switching that can be done down here. But there's no trains down here. But that's because they can't stop. I mean, this is the problem where I would say, okay, I want to send, as a solo player, I want to send a train here to La Mirada, and it would really be nice if the train would come in, and at some point in the program there's an invisible spot somewhere on the tracks right here where the train would come down, but and stop, but it's also the manual switches, and that's the one thing I don't know if they can probably program it in, but right now auto can't throw the manual switches. So, but anyway, Sam B, the nightmare route. Sam, yeah, money overrides safety when it comes to railroading, and this is a fact. You're right, and I think because the people that get that check, when their dividend checks come in, they look at it and they go, man, I sure wish this was more, and that's what everybody says. Everybody looks at their paycheck or whatever. Boy, I sure wish this was more. Money's not the solution to everything. It really isn't. Okay, in fact, it creates more headaches than what it leaves. But we need it. Unfortunately, that's how the world works. Now, I think if some of those people understood, like, wow, I got this check, I wish it was more. Open up the other side. This check cost you 6 lives. Wait, what? Yeah, 6 people died in order to bring you this dividend check, or 10 people died, or you got somebody lost a limb. They don't think about the investors don't think about that when they get those dividend checks. But if they started to, you would hear an outcry. I think you would. I think deep down you're going to have those people who go, I don't care, just give me my check. But for the most part, you're going to have people going, no, wait a minute, I want the money, but not at the cost of somebody dying. At least I like to think that people are like that. Anyway, this was my stream today turned into really a gripe session about stuff. Wow, I like it actually. It's kind of fun. All right, let's see. Wait, you're saying auto can throw? I have never had auto throw one of these manual switches. That's just it. Most industries and stuff, like what I do, I have my opinions, and I keep my mouth shut because, honestly, in the school district, yeah, if you open your mouth and come up with an idea, people get pissed. So I just keep my mouth shut. And that is unfortunately a lot of areas, like in railroad and like that, you might have a great idea. Apple is a good company for ideas. If you had an idea, voice it, man, because you might come up with a great idea. But most places, no. I have never had auto. Interesting. I have never had auto throw a manual switch. I'll have to keep an eye out for that. Now, like this switch here, he'll throw this one. But like say I want him to come into this yard here to La Mirada, because it's a manual switch, he won't throw that. The train will just keep right on going by. That's what I've had happen to me. And I've had okay, jump up. Okay, you got a light down there. I'll turn them red, so I'll stop them down there, and then I'll throw switches, and then I'll release them, and he'll come on in, and then I gotta throw a switch against him to get him to stop. Oh, well, that's the thing. Now, in West Colton, I can. Okay, and in West Colton, yes, he can control those. But in the smaller yards, like here in La Mirada or Vacaville, like I was talking about earlier, he can't control those. Hey. Two trucks, the same type of thing. I'm in the Twilight Zone. So, it's supposed to be in very busy Southern California, but none of these industries have cars. Let's go this way. Oh, here's one. This honestly looks like a fun area to switch. Well, I like the way they did that Y. Riverside Cement Company. Wait a minute. CLX? Or CXL, I mean. They're dyslexia kicking in. CXL. Going down to R, just in case. No, not there. Well, let's do it this way then. Okay, you're not going to pick the track? Standing on the track, for Pete's sake. Well, yeah, Otto was born in V2. So basically, he was born in version 2. Version 3, he's more of like a grade schooler right now. Nice. There's CLM over there. Standing on the track. Here's my orange dots. Supposed to be search using closest track. I'm standing on the track, and there's nothing. And the building says Riverside Cement, so I went looking for Riverside Cement. See, Penny Newman Grain, I saw there's Penny Newman Grain here in Southern California. In Stockton, there's a Penny Newman Grain right on the edge of the canal. So I just look at that and go, yeah, that'd be kind of an interesting thing to model. Trains coming in, parking your covered hoppers there in the Stockton subdivision in Stockton, and you've got a canal there with a couple of ships sitting there. They're not doing anything. They just need to sit there. But that'd be an some interesting assets to model. Anyway. Oh, there it is. I missed it. Yep. Let's see this RSV. Riverside Cement Plant, RSV. This is not RSV. This is CXL. Riverside Cement. So, I'm thinking if I move my virtual model railroad from Northern California, and right now Southern California is in the lead. If I do come down to Southern California, I'll do that strictly on multiplayer. I think that's what I'm going to do. That way I have there's a lot of things going on, different things that we can look at. That's what I'll do. I can see that 770. I've seen documentaries. I've actually seen some of those canals too when I was there. I see people living on boats in those canals too. It's kind of cool. I like those boats. They're kind of neat. Yeah. Yeah, because that would have been the first, Roseville would have been the first subdivision that Run 8 Studios put out. My first thought as I was going over, I was thinking, well, why not Southeast? But I forgot that the Northeast and Southeast DLCs were put out by High Rail. Granted, some of the developers worked for both, but yeah, I think Roseville would have been the first one that was put out by Run 8 Studios, and that would have been the one that, like, hey, we're going to make every switch, auto can flip every switch. And that would have been nice, you know, hey, let's test bed that, let's put it out there, and we can put the DLC out as a beta test and let everybody know this is what we're working on, we need your input. You get your fan base to help you out, find the bugs. Yeah. Yeah, because we got LA, you got La Mirada, was it LA, A, B, C, D, all that kind of stuff, LAJ. Then you got, that's just on the BNF side. Then there's, you have the UP side, like the Weed Yard. They probably sat on Roseville instead of releasing it in the V2 because they knew V3 was going to be coming out, or they were decided that V3 was going to come out. If that makes any sense. Flying down and see where this goes. I know nothing about this area. There we go. Some other tags on. Unibar, Los Nidos, Norwalk, Los Nidos Crossing, Union Pacific. Oh, okay, so I'm down here. To San Gabriel, Santa Fe Springs. So Alright, so if this is Union Pacific, where does this go? Ooh. UPD? Interesting. Storage. BKS. Oh, that's Bakersfield. There it is. UPDS rail ports. UPD. Covered hoppers and plastic pellet hoppers. So they produce empties. So dead ends there. Okay, let's go the other way. DT Junction, Union Pacific Railroad. San Gabriel. City of Industry. See it like that. C of I. You just couldn't type in City of Industry. And then dead ends there. CI, City of Industry. Industry Yard West, Industry West Yard. Industry East Yard. Oops. Yeah. East Yard. Industry. Interesting. Okay. What do we got here? The assets for Roosevelt still sitting out there at the end of Trona. The listing yard was in a previous update. So basically it's a new yard. Okay. Interesting. Oh yeah, look at this, right? Union Pacific Railroad, Yuma sub. We won't talk about that, will we? Alright. Let's see, how long have I done this for? I got things to do today. This is a little over 2 hours. Okay, that's about right. So it's been a great day, guys. I like it. First of all, 770, Mr. White, Bob, thanks for, even, Farmer Lord, my buddy Raymond, thanks for jumping in, having a chat with me. I like chatting with you guys. It's a lot of fun. Can become a little bit of a gripe session, but I'm okay with that. What do you mean, no? So, but I do have things to do. I got places to go, people to see, and I got a driving test. I got to take a written test for renew my license. I need to go study for that too. 'Cause I have been stewing a decade over the Yuma sub. Yeah, you know what? Put a ticket in. Send them a ticket if you haven't done it. Just say, hey, what's going on? I know you guys were promising the Yuma sub, and it'd sure be nice to see that. I know they got a lot on their plate and a lot of ideas that they want to do. I think I mentioned before, I can't remember whose stream I was in, and I was chatting with different people in the stream, and one of them, he made the comment of, I was like, yeah, it'd be nice to see that. I'd made this, the comment, I'd be nice to see the Stockton subdivision, and his response was, we're working on it, it's coming. Wait, what? And he's like, yep, I'm one of the developers for N8, it's coming. I'm like, oh. So, but I'm taking that as words. I mean, if that was a developer, it might have been somebody else, so who knows. Those things like that, I don't hold my breath. I get excited when I see it. It's released and it's out there. So, but yeah, this has been a great stream. I like chatting with you guys. It's a lot of fun. Been a bunch to do about nothing. So, but we, yeah, no, it was good. We looked at a lot of things. Looked at the yard. I got some work to do there. Got to do some planning, and then I'll come back. Got to continue the Trona episode because I've got those 3 unit trains that are waiting. They need to come in because we need desperately need to put a lot of cars out there, a lot of coal, a lot of tank, and then a lot of open hoppers. I went out there today and looked at it. I advanced the time to today's date. Everything's full and talking. Oh, here goes a train. Oh, okay, here we go. What a way to end the stream right here. Here we go. That was actually nice. We had Union Pacific, some patched Union Pacifics, Rio Grande on the end. Nice. Let's see. If anything, it was probably Brad Brown. He does frequent streams a lot. Oh, okay. Yeah, thanks for the good luck. I got to do that. And then, yep, take that test. Okay. So anyway, with that, thanks for... I timed that. I actually timed that perfectly, by the way. I don't know if you guys knew that or not. I'll take credit for that. Anyway, with that, I'm going to bring the stream to a close. It has been absolutely wonderful. And like I said, coming up, we will have Trona episode 5. We're bringing some more unit trains in. That'll be a long one because it'll be like have to run those 6 engines out and then pick up. Actually, I'm going to back up. We're probably going to switch out the cars that are in there now because it'll be one of those things I have to go get the unit train out of the cereals yard, bring it in, and then bring the other cars back to the cereals yard. So I think next episode we'll be doing a lot of switching out there, getting things ready for the next set of trains coming in. Because the way that's designed is the potash cars have to be out of the way, and or both of them, and the coal cars, that the empties have to be pulled out of the way in order to make room for a train to be able to pull through. Because if not, when you have the potash cars and the coal cars in place, that completely blocks off the loop yard. Not sure if that was designed that way on purpose. Seems like there should have been a bypass. But anyway, with that being said, this is Kurt H. I am the Lazy Farmer. Thanks everybody for hanging out with me. I greatly appreciate the time you spent. Have a great rest of your day.